And he ended up renting the office right next to our shop. So he was coming over every day just to check on things. Very nice guy, full of knowledge, just outgoing. And he would come over, and in the evenings I would do some welding for him. We'd put some things together, and we had some pretty interesting conversations. And it was probably about 3 months later, I got to know him better, and I went up to his office one afternoon, and I just went in to tell him to have a good weekend. We started a conversation again, and while we were speaking, we started talking about UFOs and aliens and things like this. And I had an interest in that since I was probably in my mid-teens. And I came across a gentleman named Chuck Missler, who I know you know very well. And I started listening to Chuck's cassette tapes and listening to a lot of information there, and very much appreciated his teaching and insight on things. So I started mentioning to Bill what I thought was what was going on, that it was demonically inspired, that Genesis 6 happened, it was real, the Nephilim were real, and that they're trying to come back into our realm, into our dimension through these UFOs. And we had a conversation, but right then I heard it again. This man's been abducted. So I put my hand on his shoulder and I said, Bill, I said, have you ever been taken? And when I said that, tears just started pouring down his face. And he just hunched over like this and started just sobbing a little. And my heart just went out to him. And he said, I've been taken so many times. He said, I can't count. I said, oh, goodness, Bill. He said, I have been tortured. I've been experimented on. He goes, I've been sexually abused. And he goes, it has been a nightmare. And I said, Bill, does it still happen? And he said, no. He goes, it doesn't happen anymore. I said, what made the difference? And he said, I accepted Christ. And he goes, when I did that, he goes, it stopped. He goes, they can't touch me anymore. And he goes, and I know what I'm talking about. He said, when I accepted Christ, he said, the Lord brought me out into the spirit realm. And he said, I saw angels put all around me. And he goes, anywhere I go, I've got my angels with me that protect me. He goes, they can't touch me anymore. And I said, well, praise God for that. And so that led into about a 3-hour conversation. So I got his email and I reached out to him. Now, this was in 2018. And I said, hey, Bill, this is Howie. I said, my family and I moved from Virginia. We live down here in Florida. And I said, I was reaching out to you to see how you're doing. I hope you're doing well. And also, you and I had many conversations about when the hybrids were going to be coming to Earth, into our realm. And I said, do you have any more insights on that? So he got back with me and he said, and I was glad he got back. I didn't know if he would or wouldn't. But he said, Howie, I've moved to Poland. He said, I've married a Polish lady. She doesn't speak English. I don't speak Polish. And we have a wonderful marriage. We don't argue. So I was glad to see he still had a sense of humor. But he said, my friend, he said, yes, they are coming. And he said, the fleet will arrive in 2026. And he said, but they're already coming now. And so I said, what's their reasoning? Why are they coming? Are they here to hurt us or help us? And, you know, I'm fishing for some answers from him to see where he's at. But he said, no, he said, they're already here, many of them. And he said, they will be coming over the next several years, more and more and more. He said, you'll see more and more of them. And he said, but in March of 2026 is when the fleet will be here. He goes, then the whole world will know.